of the millennial sun against this ostrich strand makes us finally rise and decide to take this dawning in hand.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Nerds Order Music interview. Today I am with VK Lynne. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me a little bit about you.
About me. I'm the lead singer of the Spider Accomplice. We are an alt rock / metal band in Los Angeles, and we are busily working on a bunch more songs because post-pandemic, I mean, what else was there to do but write music? So we've got a bunch of songs coming up, and we're pretty excited about it.
What started your music project, or where did this whole thing begin?
Like music in general, or specifically the Spider Accomplice?
A little bit of both.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I've done music all my adult life, and I've been in, I guess, 5 bands over the years and done a bunch of projects. The Spider Accomplice is kind of my pet project in that I came up with a name in that I wrote a poem one time about how it's like there's a little spider in my brain spinning webs, and my brain gets really cloudy, and then suddenly I'll go blah and just spit out a song. So I'm like, it's kind of like this accomplice, you know, making me crazy in my head, my Spider Accomplice. And I thought that, and then I was like, that might be a good name for a band. And then it definitely was. Nice. So that's how the Spider Accomplice got started. But music, I mean, music's always, you know, been in my blood. My mom's very musical. And I've always sang. I'm a pretty noisy girl in terms of singing. So I sang probably before I could speak. And, you know, I also wrote a lot of poetry, and then obviously made the connection of, well, you know, you could write songs and sing those. And yeah, I could. So that's how that got started.
Nice. Where did you meet your bandmates?
Well, right now, Arno and I are it. We are it. Yeah, we're a duo. And we really like it that way because we write the songs together. You know, he does all the producing, and it works. It really works. And also, I mean, it's wicked easy to send us out on the road, and you can put the 2 of us in a Pinto. I mean, good grief, you don't need a whole big van for 2 people. So we like being compact, and we like being portable. We really like that you can go anywhere and move quickly. So I met Arno. We were in a band together previous to this one, and he had just come off the Warp Tour with Art of Shock, and he was looking for a new project, and so he jumped into that band. And then we just realized that we kind of had similar writing goals. We both loved blues rock. We both loved like that symphonic metal sound. He's from Finland, so you know, he's from the land of metal. And so we decided we wanted to try something different. We wanted to really start writing songs that had kind of a large and epic sound, but had their roots in kind of a blues rock sensibility. So that's how that happened.
I love Warped Tour. That takes me back. That really does. I used to go to that all the time. Oh, I miss the festival days.
Yes. So, well, hopefully it's all coming back now. All the festivals are coming back.
Hey, we can only hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so explain your songwriting process.
Oh gosh, I like that. Explain yourself. I don't necessarily have a songwriting process, and that is the truth of it. I don't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write a song right now. I feel like that's the quickest way to kill creativity. I write songs based on things that I experience, and so I think the most important thing for me for songwriting is to keep doing things that scare me. If I don't know about something, if I'm curious about something, I go and find out. And in that way, I learn something. I usually like to meet people that are kind of outside of what I normally do. I'm like, I don't understand that life. I need to go find out about it. And 9 times out of 10, it'll lead me to a song. I was very interested when I met some women from burlesque, and I was like, I don't know what that's about. I don't get it. What is that about? And so I auditioned for a burlesque troupe, and I started doing burlesque. And so I was like, wow, this is different from what I thought it was. So I learned all of these things about all of these women and all these people and about this art form that I had no idea about. So I keep doing things like that. I'm like, well, what is something that I want to try or that I want to know more about? and it will always give you information that you can use to write songs. Because if you don't keep going out and living life, you keep writing the same song over and over and over again. Like whenever someone tells me that they're blocked, I'm like, well, then you're not scaring yourself enough. You're not going out and living enough. You got to go out there and do stuff, because that's how you write songs.
Definitely. Well, speaking of like new other ways and stuff, explain the collaboration you did with Gritty and Pink.
So Gritty and Pink is a community for women's empowerment in music, and there's a bunch of women in there that are just, they're just so talented. And I was trying to get together a collaboration for Hunger Strike. Leah Martin Brown had mentioned that she would really love to do that, and so we started talking about, well, I was like, I could be your Eddie Vedder. Sure, let's do it. And so then we like, okay, well, why don't we make it an all Gritty collaboration? Why don't we get all women from the group to do it? So I reached out to BB and to Alex and to Rain, and they all were into it. They all were into it. So we put it together. Now for the video, we would have loved to go to the beach and recreate the original Temple of the Dog video. That would have been awesome. But we couldn't do that because Leah's in Sweden. Rain is in New York. So there's already, people are all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, all right, we're going to have to do a COVID video where everyone's in different places. But I said, why don't we release it on World Hunger Day and make this a fundraiser? Let's do something like good out of, because especially in Los Angeles right now, homelessness is huge. It's a big problem. There's a lot of people who are definitely in need, and Union Rescue Mission downtown does great work. They do great work. And I said, for World Hunger Day, why don't we release it that day? And then for every copy that we sell of it, we'll just donate 100% of the proceeds to Union Rescue Mission. And all of the girls were 100% behind that. They're like, yeah, let's do it. So that was the goal. I have no idea how much money we're going to make. I mean, but we're going to try. We're going to see what we can do. So we put the song out, and so far people have seemed to enjoy it. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome. I actually listened to it today myself, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it.
Yes, we were very disheartened that Chris Daughtry released a version of it like literally the same week.
Oh no!
Like, come on, Daughtry, come on.
It's like, why?
Just my luck. But ours is very different. So there's that.
Hey, diversity is good, especially in music.
Music
is so empowering.
It is.
That's why I'm a metalhead. The amount of emotion in metal is absolutely insane.
Yes. Yeah, and metalheads are some of the nicest people in the world.
Honestly, I work with enough of them. I can confirm that. Oh, man. It's such a beautiful style of music, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, no, it's the devil's music. I'm like, have you looked at the lyrics much?
It's really not. It's really not. Especially like I come from the symphonic metal world, and everything is just, it's poetry. It's gorgeous. It's
a lot of it's like fighting your inner demons, trying to find peace, all that shit. Like metalcore is my big thing, and that music actually did save my life. Hence why I started this up. Like, music is very powerful to those who need it the most. It's amazing.
Yeah. What we do without it?
Mm-hmm. So what we do without it, I have no clue. I honestly wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without music.
Yes, we'd be pretty miserable.
I mean, the world's miserable enough. This is the only thing that gives it true happiness.
Wow. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's a sad reality.
Yeah.
All right. Who would you love to collaborate with in stage and in the studio? Well, on stage and in the studio.
Oh gosh, everybody. That is part of my problem. During the pandemic, I said yes to way too many collaborations because I love working with other people. Absolutely love working with other people. I mean, I know what I know. I want to find out what other people know. And I love to sing with other people. Love it. Like, I'm a big fan of harmony. So anybody who wants to sing with me, I was like, yes, let's do it, So if I had my dream collaborations, I would say, I definitely would love to sing with Pat Monahan from Train, because that boy's got a voice on him. That boy's got a voice on him. I love a good, powerful male voice, you know, and some of these guys out there right now, I'm just like, wow, that's the voice. You know who I miss? Oh gosh, I'm gonna date myself. No, I'm not. No, I'm not even gonna say it because you're gonna be like, what? There was a pop singer back in the '80s named David Glasper, and he had a band called Breathe, and he just had the smoothest voice. It was so smooth.
He did. I'll admit he did.
Yeah. And I always thought it'd be nice to sing with him because I'm like, that's a guy I could like learn from, man. Like that's so smooth, so smooth. But he is gone the way of the buffalo. He's out. I read somewhere that he's out on a desert island making music out there. So away he goes. So Pat Monahan, I'm looking at you, buddy. I'd also really love to sing with Tommy Karavik. Again, like such an amazing, powerful voice. Like, have you ever seen Camelot on stage? Like, it's power.
I wish I could. Well, maybe after the pandemic, who knows?
Yeah, I would love to sing with him. And as far as writing wise, I would love to write with Nuno Betancourt. He's so underrated as a writer, and he's really super talented. So, Nuno, I'm coming for you.
So many underrated people are in underground. It's insane. It's like people don't know how good music can be. They only look at the mainstream crap, and it's like not all mainstream is good.
Right.
I'm sorry, but not all of it has meaning, my friend.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like ice cream. We have to have more flavors than vanilla.
Exactly.
I mean, sure, everybody likes vanilla. You put it on your apple pie, it's fine. But we also need, the chocolate mint, chip and all that stuff.
Yeah, like we need everything else too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that we need more diversity, is a good way to put it.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing too. We have created a climate where people are very quick to defend one thing and think that because they don't like another thing, it shouldn't exist. It should not exist.
That's cancel culture for you.
It's like that's silly. Like
it's sad.
I'm like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. I mean, somebody likes it.
People who do like it, it's like you can't just cut that out for all the other people who enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you always have the option to change the channel, change the station, listen to something else. Like that, you have more options right now than we've ever had before in music. So if you don't like something, go find something you do because it's out there. I guarantee it's out there.
So like example for me, most mumble rap is mainstream. I don't like mumble rap, but that's just me. Like listen to it as much as you want. I got my metal, I got my rock, I got my hip hop, I got whatever I like. You got what you like. That's totally fine.
Totally.
Like no discrimination here. Might not like it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to shame people who do. There's no reason to.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange. Or like they try to, put two artists against each other and be like, this one's better, and yours is, like there's a feud between two. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's not about who's better. It's about them. It's about that they both enjoy what they do.
Yeah, it's like it's art, folks. You didn't see Van Gogh and Picasso throwing down on Twitter.
We had enough of that with the last two presidents. I don't think we need any more threats on Twitter. Goodness. Twitter has become a battleground, I swear.
Yeah, it's toxic.
That's why I stay off of it. Like, even everyone's like, you should put yourself on Twitter. Me, hell no. I'd rather stay off that platform as much as possible.
I mean, I'm on there for musical purposes, but I try to avoid the pitfalls because it's just a place for people to be angry.
Like, I'm thinking of using it for my stuff too, but at the same time, I'm trying to be cautious because I know how toxic Twitter can get.
Yeah, that's wise. That's wise.
Like Attack of the Crows, everyone's chirping to kill each other.
Oh yeah.
That's why the joke, his Twitter, a bird. I'm like, Attack of the Crows, Stephen King, is that you? But no, it's just become so toxic, and I'm just like, nah, no thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, you don't need all that in your life.
Honestly, I've dealt with enough of it. That actually is what got me here. So the pain was necessary in the end because it worked out pretty well for me. All right, my next question is, what is the best piece of advice you could give to fellow musicians and your listeners?
Okay, so I've been asked this question a bunch of times, and I always say the same thing. My best advice is don't take anyone's advice. People who give advice, especially people who give unsolicited advice, generally want you to do something that they think you should do, but they're not necessarily thinking about that your life and their life are not the same. So something that might work for me might not work for you. And likewise, I always tell folks figure out what feels true to you. Like what feels like, yeah, that resonates. That makes sense for me. And then do that,
Yeah.
so many times, especially in creative fields, I feel like people are given advice of you should do this and this, and they follow those steps, and it kills the thing that made them special to start with. Like, the thing that makes you special is you and the things about you that are different from everyone else. So if someone's advice to you is, oh, well, you should change that and change that and change that, you know,
Yeah,
and even advice that is well-meaning, even advice that's like, well, you know, you've got to sit down and do this sort of thing every day, or you should go out and meet people more often, or you should do this. For some people that would work, but if it doesn't resonate with you, or if you find it that something that is really like, it just feels yucky, then it's not for you, because there's no one way to do anything.
yeah.
There's a million different ways. Find the way that works for you. So yeah, my advice to people is always just don't take advice unless you really trust that person and you feel like they really know what they're talking about, because you can really go the wrong way by trying to live someone else's life.
I like that. After all, advice is just opinionated, and creativity shouldn't be limited.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it, really. All right, so I think my final question of the evening is, what is next for your music project?
Okay, so I've got 2 more collaborations coming out soon, one of which I'm supremely stoked about. I got some of the masters this week, and it's just sounding so good. I will give you an inside scoop that there is a male singer on it, and I'm not even sure if you would know this band. How much of a fan of power metal are you?
I'm a pretty big fan.
Okay, so do you know Lords of the Trident?
Yes.
You do? Okay. So Ty and I are singing together on this song, and he sounds marvelous. He's doing a wonderful job. The song itself is sounding amazing, and I can't wait to put this collaboration out because it's just sounding so good. I messaged him, I'm like, we need to be standing on a cliff singing this song because it sounds so epic right now. So that's the next thing coming, and I'm really excited about that. And then the Spider Accomplice has 2 or 3 songs that that are basically ready to go. So I've got Dakota, I got to talk to you about getting those out and how we're going to do it. And then there's a bunch of solo stuff that I'm kind of just working on quietly in my room that I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it and when I'm going to do it. But yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I keep my whiteboards on my notebooks and my lists everywhere to try to keep it organized. But there's going to be a lot of music coming around.
That's awesome. I look forward to it. I really do. It's such a pleasure working with artists and being able to hear their stuff as they progress. That's like one of the biggest things for me here. I get so excited about it.
Yeah, I would imagine so. You've seen a lot.
Yeah, I have, yeah, for sure. I've even worked with a few people who I've been fans of for years. Like since I was in college and even in high school and middle school, I got to work with some of those groups I was big fans of, and it's like, holy shit. I never would have expected that to happen in my life.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, sometimes with people, it's like you don't know what you can get until you ask. I mean,
yeah. The worst is they'll either say no or they'll ignore your existence. One or the other.
And either way, like, okay.
It's like next. But I've had a big positive response with this. It's been great.
Yeah, well, why not?
A lot of groups I work with are coming back for bonus ones for like new albums and stuff they're releasing. So it's like, you're doing your job right when people come back.
Yes.
And it's been so much fun working with returning artists. So
yeah. When I do an interview with someone who's really cool, I'll go back to them over and over and over again. And then there's sometimes when it's like, I'm like, oh, that was not great.
I know. That's like my biggest fear. I never want to mess up that badly. That's like my biggest fear.
Yeah, it's very rare. It's very rare, but every once in a while you do one where you're like, oh golly.
Yeah, those are more like for the press who do it just to get paid or some crap. I just do it because I want to give back. That's like the difference. Because some of them like work for big publishers where they have to like work with you without knowing a damn thing. And it's like, what happened to fans working with their bands? That's kind of what I'm doing here. I just simply love music and want to keep it going.
So that's who should be talking about it. Because if you don't love music, then what are you doing?
Exactly. It's just like, isn't that kind of a wasted opportunity?
It is.
Honestly, it's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talked with another artist about that, and it's like, it sucks that people like that do it. It's like leave it to fans to do it instead of people who just do it because they feel like they have to for their publisher. It's not as fun.
It's not.
It's
not.
also not as relaxed.
Anybody.
Chilled.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I try to make these as fun as I can. And people.
Well, if you sent me pizza, then that would be funner.
If I knew where you lived, I would.
It's funny with me. It always comes back to pizza. I don't know why, but
I actually just had pizza today, so
Oh.
I mean,
What kind? I want to hear about it.
I like cheese and sometimes pepperoni a little bit. I'm old school.
That you can't go wrong with the classics.
Exactly. Same thing can be said about music. I grew up with old school stuff like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, a little bit of classic rock like ZZ Top and Van Halen. Oh man, I still listen to them too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you have a good foundation then.
Yeah, I still can't believe that Ozzy's making a new album already.
Well, I feel like as long as there's breath in his lungs, Ozzy's going to keep going. So.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. He is like such a big idol.
Yeah.
This was fun. I really enjoyed this.
Well, I'm so glad. I did too.
Honestly, I'm so glad Dakota found me. It's been amazing working with all of his groups.
He's clever that way. He definitely seems to find nice people. Like I've noticed that about him. Like everyone he's directed me to has been really nice, and I'm like, okay, all right, Dakota, I see you.
I met him actually because of Sepsis, because I did an interview with them a while back when I was doing like episode 15. He told me they told me post what you do on our page to get you some more bands. I'm like, okay. And 10 bands responded and he sent me a message. I'm like, oh, who the hell's this? I own a label. My eyes just widened. I'm like, wait. What? And he's been like so great to me this whole time. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's a good egg. He's a good egg.
He really is. Honestly, like passionate about this project, passionate about bands. The dude has got a lot of heart.
Yeah. That's half the battle right there.
Yeah. He even introduced me to a few of his podcast members, like Super Cool Radio, who I got to work with. He and I did an interview the interviewer kind of thing. Where
nice.
Where we asked each other questions on the groups we work with, our experiences while we set up our projects, etc. And it was a blast. I did not expect him and I to be the same age, though. I thought I was like the youngest of the group, like 23. So.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell people's ages these days. It's like I don't know. How old are you? Like 18?
It is.
It's like,
but it's fun though. Like I've met a lot of fun people doing this, and I never plan on stopping this either. I'm gonna keep doing this till I drop dead.
Until I drop dead. Yes, that's a fine plan. That's a fine plan because there'll always be music to be made.
Exactly. There's always gonna be music, no matter where you are.
Yep.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap things up here.
All right.
This has been another Nerds Order Music interview. Today, our guest was VK Lynne. Thank you for being with us today and have an amazing day.